Well, welcome back to Mediagene's, a channel, Asia's next generation media and data analytics company, trading on the NASDAQ under TNMG. We have the privilege to be joined by Joey Chung, the co-founder and CEO, to take us through the first half of the year as we get some corporate updates, including some milestone expectations in the latter half of the year. But first and foremost, welcome, sir.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, everyone. Good to be back.
It was a pleasure to get back on. So take us through, there were a lot of highlights in this report, but maybe just kind of pinpoint what you think is most relevant that investors should be paying attention to.
Yeah, it was our first, H1 as a public company, so a lot of highlights in there. But I guess overall, we're very proud of the fact that we've always, exercised very strict financial discipline. We're more or less on target in terms of organic growth, in terms of talking to the next potential deal, in terms of the overall AI utilization within the company. I guess the biggest, most obvious milestone is that we released, I think about a month and a half ago, that we're about to launch Business Insider Global Chinese Language slash the Taiwan edition. And that'll be huge for us because I think that's a very good example of all of the different synergies that are coming together and going in that same direction. Business Insider Japan was our original flagship brand within our Japan market. Interestingly, it was always the most successful Business Insider market outside of the original Business Insider US or English language market. So because of that relationship, we confirmed and started planning for over the past few months to launch the Chinese language edition that will be out in about September, so in about a month-ish. So everything that we talked about kind of leads to this, a lot of content cross-pollination through AI translation. We can now use English content, Japanese content, translate that into Chinese, vice versa, and all of the different, data analytics, readership gathering, AI algorithm services, e-commerce, affiliate, mobile ad tech, all the stuff that we can kind of copy and paste and create that snowball effect. Yeah, we're very excited about using Business Insider launch to do that. So in many ways, I think that's probably the best example. But besides that, yeah, strict financial discipline, aiming to achieve and hit all of our revenue top line and bottom line targets, having the next one or two conversations of the next targets to finish that Pan Asia story and be that largest de facto Pan Asia multi-language, multi-market independent media, tech, and data and e-commerce group of companies. Yeah, so far we're on schedule and on the way there. So it was very busy, but very, I guess, development filled H1, and we hope for that to continue into H2 as well.
Yeah, and kind of continuing the latter half of the year, I don't think investors or maybe people stumbling into this appreciate the ecosystem that you guys are trying to build here. So maybe just iterate exactly kind of what you guys are doing with the vision moving forward and what investors should be paying attention to as we kind of head into the latter half of the year.
Sure. So, both sides of the business started as independent, high quality media, no fluff, no junk, no political bias, both within Japan and Taiwan and Hong Kong. And the company combined together has done a total of 10 acquisitions over the past few years. So it's been very much meant to be a roll-up strategy. We want to basically build out the largest Pan Asia media, tech, data, AI, that entire ecosystem, that entire group of companies. And we feel we're about halfway of the way there. If we're now number one or number two in Japan and Taiwan, so obviously Southeast Asia will be the next obvious target. So probably on average, we do about one or two acquisitions every year. One acquisition every year is other smaller media groups. It's sort of to get our readership base from the current 40-ish million to 50, 60, 80, 100 million readers. And one acquisition every year will be in other tech, data, AI, or e-commerce engineering teams to basically create the products and the R&D to monetize off of the data that we're gathering. So that's kind of the snowball effect. That's the two-pronged, every year more and more readers as a media company, high quality content, influence, stickiness, reader loyalty, but also data source. And every year more and more other product monetization on those data sources in terms of the tech and data or e-commerce services. That's what we set out to build. I think at this point, we're halfway there. We're kind of getting used to the ins and outs of being a public company on NASDAQ. And hopefully second half of this year, we'll get used to it enough, stabilize, get our story out to the market so people understand who we are, what we're trying to build, just like this, and then focus on our next acquisitions and start be very much on our way, hopefully.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the insight here. As we pass it off to the viewers, as always, consider subscribing, news, catalysts, all this as it continues to evolve and come down the wire. We're going to bring it to you here. But on that, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.